with Wendy Tan White. With us today, we've got Ribston High Hall School, Towngate Primary School, and St Peter's RC. Wendy, if you'd like to introduce yourself, the others, and then we can get going with some questions.
Okay, hello. So I'm Wendy Tan White. I founded a company in 1999 called Moonfruit, which lets people build their own DIY websites or small shops. It's very design-led. We had 7 million small businesses on our platform. And I actually sold the business for $37 million 2 years ago. I've only just recently left that company. I'm setting something up new at the moment. But my background is I did computer science at university, at Imperial College, but I also did an MA in textile design, so more on the design side at Central St Martin's as well. So if you're interested in anything from design to computer science, then I'm your lady, or business.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's kick off our first question from St Peter's.
My question is, what if you were 14? What programming language would you learn?
I was 14. Have you learned any languages at all yet?
We learned Python and HTML and Scratch.
Okay. I mean, my instinct would have been Python and something Java-based for HTML anyway, so I think you're on the right track. Because I think it's more about understanding, the structures of coding language. So whether, it's how to use conditional statements or how to do the equation work or how to use a development environment, I think that's the main thing you need to learn. So I think you're on the right track. But I think the other thing I'd look at probably is, depending on what you want to build, it's probably something more around the front end side too. So I don't know if you want to build apps, if you want to prototype an application, for example, in something like PhoneGap, it's kind of easy and useful to do. So that's more about if you're prototyping out an application that you want to try out. Something like that might be useful if you've already started doing Python, etc.
All right, thank you.
Hello, my name's Alchid. Hello, my name's Alchidai, and I'd like to know what has been most beneficial to you, coding or marketing?
Gosh. Well, I think the truth is I don't think I'd have really got into the internet so early if I hadn't been coding first. So, I mean, I went to university to do computer science, and I was lucky I was Imperial in that, I mean, I've been using the internet since '89, when it was really just an educational tool. And I think that really spurred me on during the first dot-com boom to get out and do my own company in that arena. And I think if I hadn't done the technical part first, I'm not sure I'd have had the confidence to go out on my own at that point. But saying that, if I hadn't had the marketing and business side of things, I'd have never been able to grow the business beyond just a project. Because the thing about growing a business to be a larger scale, you need to understand customers ultimately. Because ultimately, the difference between a great application and one that really succeeds is whether a customer really gets any benefit from it or not. And I think that is about marketing. It's understanding your customer and understanding how to reach that customer. And then really understanding if you need to have a sustainable business where you make enough money to keep growing it, how you're going to do that. So I'm a real believer in both. But I think I would say to all of you, you've got to play to your own strengths. Yeah. It's good to understand both, but at some point you'll realize what you're better at. And I think it's, like most things in life, do the things you feel really good at and best that you like the most. Because life's long, there's a lot of choices you're going to make.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Ribston High, can we have a question from you, please?
Hi, what made you name your company Moonfruit?
The original business idea was really about helping people share their passions online. So you remember in '99 there was no social media. The only people that could publish anything were developers. And so really we were looking to try and get the name Passion Fruit, the idea of seeding, your passions. And actually at the time a ladies' lesbian magazine already owned it in the United States, and they wouldn't sell it to us. So we had to look for another name. And we had one of those, our first office, we bought everything from IKEA, and there was a moon lamp in the background. And actually, our CTO at the time said, actually, isn't moon sort of aspirational? Why don't we just call it Moonfruit? And of course, nobody had that domain name at the time, so that's where we started. We kind of kept with it ever since.
Thank you.
Next question.
Towngate, I don't think we heard from you. Could we have a question from Towngate Primary, please?
Livy?
Hello.
Hi. What inspired you to create Moonfruit?
Oh. Well, I think it kind of touched on the answer just now, but you know, I kind of knew, I was lucky enough, and some of my friends, we could all build websites in 1999, but nobody else could. And the whole thing about the internet being a public resource is that it's not just about you reading what other people do, it's about what you can publish and create yourself online. And that's really why we wanted to start it, is to make people who couldn't code in those days to actually be able to do it themselves and to do what they wanted to do. So that's how we really started.
Great, thank you. St. Peter's, do you have another question?
Hi, my name's Amy from St. Peter's High School in Manchester.
Hi.
There are more males than females involved in the technology field. What tips would you have for a girl who is interested in this field?
I think it kind of touches on what I talked about earlier. One is, look at your own strengths and what you're really good at. I mean, you know, to do that, you need to try many things too. So I don't know whether you've tried coding, or you've tried, for example, user interface design, or you've tried marketing, or you need to try, I would say at this stage, try everything out and see what you enjoy, what you feel like you're good at, and what really appeals to you. And then take that and actually look for either a degree or a job in the tech sector that actually fits with that. I mean, in Moonfruit, 25% of our employees are female. Now, that's still only 25%, but that's a lot better than a lot of software companies. And I would say we have a spread of women that go from doing marketing and comms, something more traditional, that sometimes women are stereotyped into doing, right through to development, systems operations, data science is big now, user interface design, which is very design-led, graphic design, they're all key. And the other great role, I think, for a lot of women today is product design generally. Product design combines understanding engineering and design and business, and those are the guys that really define what the product's going to be that companies often develop and sell. And I actually think it requires a mixed hybrid skill set. And I think women are often good at combining both the emotional skills and the rational skills that you need to do something like product design. So I would love more women to come into that.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Great, thanks. Ribston High, would you like to ask the next question?
Hiya. What future developments in ICT do you think will have a significant effect on organisations?
So as in what ICT is doing in schools today, how that might impact? Are you thinking about ICT in schools?
No, commerce.
Oh, commerce generally.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. There are some big trends going on at the moment. I don't know how much you follow. One of them is people like to coin it the Internet of Things. So it's the idea of the physical and the software side coming together. I think more famous things are like smart thermostats that can track your house and things like Nest, or smart wearables. So the idea that your heart rate's being tracked. In fact, it's going to be beyond that. So it seems like your jumper is going to become a device that can actually take your temperature, feel the sweat from your body, know whether you're sick, know whether you're happy, know whether you're sad. That idea of Internet of Things is coming. Also, everything in your environment can become a device. That chair could be tracking, your blood pressure, what's going on, and I think that's becoming very real, actually. That sector needs a combination of designers and product designers and engineers as well, and data scientists. So that's going to be interesting. I think artificial intelligence is becoming a huge hot topic. It's become a big moral topic, because I think we're so close to real artificial intelligence now that people are actually scared that what that means for the human race and what the implications are. And if we're that close to cracking really good AI, morally, how should the scientists and engineers doing it, how should they set that up? So for example, you could set up an artificial intelligence machine to be very rational and only care about a result. But if his result of this machine, if the machine presented decided actually what would be the best thing is that we didn't have human beings at all, we're not going to be very happy about that. So do you need to build in some checks and balances? Do you need to build in some sort of emotional intelligence as well into this machine? There's a big question going on too. And then I think another big thing that's going on is virtual reality. I don't know if you've come across something called the Oculus Rift that was built from Kickstarter and then it sold for a couple of billion to Facebook. It's basically a pair of goggles where you can have, rather than just gaming like you do on your flat screen, you're actually going to be able to experience it. So rather than, you could be at home being taught and you'll feel like you're in your classroom, or you could be talking to your doctor and you'll feel like you're in the surgery, or you could be with your girlfriend and you feel like you're kissing her in a room virtually. I mean, this stuff is becoming real, right? And I think those areas, internet things, virtual reality, artificial intelligence, are going to change the future, commerce-wise and just our lives, I think, generally.
Thank you.
That's okay. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Towngate Primary, would you like to ask the next question?
Hello.
Hi.
What were computer lessons like when you were at school?
Oh, goodness me. To be honest, they were pretty dire when I was at school. So they were kind of often combined with our maths lessons, and it was quite dry. A lot of it was done on paper. You know, you'd literally be you'd be learning how to code things. You'd be writing your code on paper to start with, on graph paper or something, and like the lines of code, and then you'd have to go and try and find a computer to actually test it out on. And in those days, home computers were only just really kicking off. So I think I had something called a BBC Micro, which was had a tiny amount of memory, 64K, and it could only do a language called BASIC, which is literally basic line code. You know, and it would take ages just to get somebody to print, you know, your name repeated on a screen. So it was a bit dry. It wasn't like, you know, like I've got a 10-year-old son and a 7-year-old daughter, and they use things like Scratch, which is more like the animated game. They program their own games on things like Game Salad. They use Espresso to do their design. Obviously, you guys all got access to things like, you know, computers, laptops, iPads, mobile phones. So it's a lot more engaging today, I think, than it was in my day. I don't know. Do you think that's true, or do you actually like it?
Yeah.
Is your teacher there in the background going, yeah, you've got to say yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, we've probably got time for one more question. So, Ribston, did you have another question?
Yes.
Would you recommend that people should do a computing degree or go down the apprenticeship route?
Oh. I know there's a lot of debate about this actually in the tech community. I would definitely say do a degree if you can first. I think if that's a path that interests you and you think you can go into, then you should do it. Because I think university brings a lot of opportunities, not just the vocational teaching itself, but your chance for you to explore more broadly in life and with the people you meet. And some of those contacts you'll know for the rest of your life. I mean, my co-founder here, I actually met at university. In fact, my other co-founder is also my husband, so I obviously met him through that too. So I think university's kind of adds a lot. Saying that though, I would get work experience too. So I mean, for example, we've taken interns from both pre-university and post into the company, and they've all said that was invaluable even when they went to university. It got them into projects and it got them jobs later down the line they'd never got into. Saying that though, I think if university is not a route you're interested in, because I know some people want to just get going, they want to earn money now, they want to get real work, you know, projects out in reality today, then you know it's great. There's opportunities to do that there too. But I think if you get the chance, you know, go to college. Yeah. Okay. It's great there's so many girls in the room, by the way. I'm impressed.
Wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much, Wendy White, for taking part in the questions today. And also thank you to Ribston High, Towngate Primary and St. Peter's RC. If you'd like to thank Wendy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you too. Bye. Pleasure. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Show us, please.
Are you ready to wave in case it comes?
Bye. 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 Bye.